Welcome back to the TSYS Integrated Solutions series. The previous video introduced you to the Genius platform and its benefits, specifically the security it offers consumers, merchants, and ISVs. Let's take security even further and introduce you to Smart P2PE, Genius's validated P2PE offering. With this module, you'll be able to understand the importance of encryption, be able to distinguish between end-to-end encryption and point-to-point encryption, and consider the merchant impact of Smart P2PE. To understand Genius Smart P2PE, we must first review the importance of encryption. Encryption translates data into a different form or code, only allowing people with access to a secret key or password the ability to read it. Currently, encryption is one of the most popular and effective data security methods used by organizations. The purpose of data encryption is to protect digital data confidentiality as it is stored on computer systems and transmitted using the internet or other computer networks. So why is encryption important? Encryption is used to protect personal information such as account numbers. When data is encrypted, it becomes much less valuable if stolen or hacked. Encryption technology can help protect data across multiple devices. In many cases, data is most vulnerable when it is being moved or transferred from one location to another. There are multiple ways technology organizations are encrypting data today. First, let's look at end-to-end encryption, also known as P2PE. End-to-end encryption refers to terminology used by the IT industry to describe a solution that encrypts data from one endpoint to another endpoint. P2PE happens when only the true sender and the intended recipient are able to read the data. It is a secure communication between the endpoints, with the data being scrambled in transit. It was created as a means of communication that prevents hackers from accessing valuable information. Even if the data is intercepted, it will not make sense to the eavesdropper because the data is encrypted. In the current payments landscape, security and protection of cardholder data is of the utmost importance for merchants, consumers, and ISVs. P2PE can be a fit for any merchant or partner that wants the latest payment security technology. Now that you've got an understanding of end-to-end encryption, let's take a closer look at point-to-point encryption. Point-to-point encryption solutions cryptographically protect cardholder-sensitive data from the point where a merchant accepts the card to the secure point of decryption, which is at the processor. Unlike end-to-end encryption, P2PE is an encryption standard established by the Payment Card Industry Security Standards Council. Now let's introduce the TSYS P2PE solution, Genius Smart P2PE. There are 6 key concepts that differentiate a P2PE validated solution from a non-P2PE validated solution. They are P2PE encryption process, SRED, which stands for Secure Reading and Exchange of Data, Chain of Custody and Inventory Management, the Key Injection Facility, or KIF, which in our case is POS Portal, the Merchant PIM, and Payment Application Security. The Smart P2PE encryption process is a step above previously mentioned end-to-end encryption. The PCI Security Standards Council has set guidelines relating to SRED compliance. SRED stands for Secure Reading and Exchange of Data. For example, devices must encrypt account numbers immediately upon entry or provide a sufficiently secure plain text environment. Additionally, the decryption keys must be securely stored in our own HSMs or hardware security modules, which is a type of server that safeguards and manages these keys. This is accomplished through using duckput keys for SRED, guaranteeing that all cardholder data is well protected at the point of interaction. Duckput stands for Derived Unique Key Per Transaction. It must be noted, however, that an SRED compliant device does not in itself provide an overall comprehensive point-to-point encryption solution, but it must function adequately as the initial point of any such solution. Payment data devices and resident payment applications must encrypt any cardholder data immediately upon a point of interaction, whether that's EMV, NFC, or key entry. The chain of custody is a process of tracking that prevents substitution, theft, and device compromise. This means that the device will be tracked from beginning to end, ensuring the integrity and security of the equipment. This standard must be maintained for all devices under a smart P2PE validated solution. The main players in the chain of custody are the manufacturer, which is Verifone, the deployment vendor, POS Portal, and the merchant. The primary objective of the chain of custody is making sure that terminal devices are manufactured and transported to the equipment vendor without risk of tampering. This is accomplished with special tamper-proof packaging. In the industry, the terminal is commonly referred to as a point of interaction device, or POI. Our smart P2PE device is either the Verifone MX915 or the Verifone MX925 countertop solution. In this example, the equipment vendor is POS Portal. With all the new terminology and acronyms we have covered up to this point, please remember to use the Resources button to access a glossary with definitions for your reference. POS Portal is also P2PE certified. As the deployment facility, they are responsible for installing our applications. As the KIF, they are responsible for injecting the appropriate encryption keys. Separating smart P2PE inventory from other inventory housed at POS Portal is also one of their main responsibilities. Please note that merchants cannot procure smart P2PE devices from other deployment vendors. They must be ordered through TSYS and POS Portal. Both the deployment facility and the KIF are also responsible for sending the point of interaction device to the merchant in tamper-proof packaging with instructions on what merchants should do if tampering is suspected upon receipt. Keep in mind that the whereabouts of the device must be able to be tracked at any point in time, from the manufacturer to the deployment facility to the KIF to the merchant's location. The merchant and solution provider are responsible for providing their own annual report on device custody to their own QSA. Again, POS Portal acts as both our deployment facility and KIF. Once the merchant receives the device, and for the duration of usage, they are required to inspect the device for evidence of tampering or skimming. The merchant must install and maintain Genius devices according to the instructions in the P2PE Instruction Manual, also known as the PIM. Let's look at what the PIM provides. The PIM is sent to the merchant via the email on file. This is handled at the merchant account level. The purpose of the PIM is to provide a list of the merchant's responsibilities in order to maintain compliance. Guidelines for compliance for merchants who have opted into our PCI-validated Smart P2PE solution. Valuable information and instructions the merchants must follow in case of any issue. And a list of approved point of interaction devices, firmware, and applications. The PIM also provides guidance to the merchant as it pertains to P2PE. For a full list, and to view the PIM itself, please click the Resources button. The PIM can be found here at cayenne.com/PIM, and merchants must attest that they have read, understood, and agreed to the terms of the PIM in order to enjoy the benefits of Smart P2PE. They do so by clicking the link in the email that is sent to them. To remain P2PE compliant, the merchant should always use their validated Smart P2PE device to initiate the transaction. In a card-not-present situation, merchants should use the validated Smart P2PE device to manually key enter data to remain compliant. If a merchant enters a transaction outside of their validated P2PE device, using a standalone terminal or using a USB keyboard to enter into the virtual terminal, for example, this disqualifies the merchant for reduced PCI scope. Merchants can leverage token-based transactions to void a previous transaction, refund a card on file, or run a repeat sale, all while staying within P2PE PCI scope. This is because the merchant is not accessing the PAN, which is the permanent account number. What separates TSYS's Smart P2PE offering versus competitors' offerings? There are four main factors. We own and control the HSM software application, which is Genius. We own and control the deployment distribution channel and keys. We control the solution in-house and manage end-to-end except for POS Portal, whom we manage. Various monitoring and alerts are in place to automatically monitor the status of each participating terminal. Alert case flows are created and automatic cases will be generated from our CRM. Other competitors only have one or two of those components, which means more risk or delays in fixes and addressing any issues that come up. In the current payments landscape, security and protection of cardholder data is of the utmost importance for merchants and ISVs as well as consumers. Smart P2PE can be a fit for any merchant or partner that wants the latest payment security technology. Some verticals that are already taking advantage of Smart P2PE include education, retail or specialty retail, convenience stores, quick serve restaurants and counter service restaurants, pharmacies, healthcare, and merchants who may have already experienced security breaches where they are required to use a P2PE validated solution. Benefits of a P2PE solution include using a P2PE device that provides the strongest encryption protection. In fraudulent circumstances, the P2PE solution provider, TSYS, not the PCI compliant merchant, is held accountable for data loss and fines. Time and money saved on much simplified PCI DSS compliance efforts by a decreased need for penetration testing, scans, firewall deployment, and SAQ. For example, the SAQ is reduced from 12 sections to 4 sections, and controls are reduced from 329 all the way down to 35. Please refer to the platform agreement training for more information on how to board merchants with Smart P2PE. Since Smart P2PE devices are stored separately from non-P2PE devices, please check with your manager for current inventory if a large opportunity arises. This concludes the Smart P2PE training. Please click on the resource button to review documents covered in this training.